All right, this is going to be my tight end rankings for the 2024 NFL season. If you have not watched my quarterback, running back, and receiver rankings, please go back and do that if you want to after the end of this video. And also, this is a prediction, so don't base too much of this off of last year's stats. So let's get started. For some honorable mentions, you got Luke Schoonmaker, Ian Thomas, Josh Oliver, Jared Wiley, Tucker Kraft, Jeremy Ruckert, Farrell Brown, Daniel Bellinger, Johnny Munt, and Colby Parkinson. And then getting started off here, we'll have 50 names. I don't know a whole lot about some of these tight ends, to be honest, but if you want to get more in-depth analysis, go just skip to the top 25, because these 50 to 26, I really don't know how to feel about most of those guys. So if you just if you really care about the top guys, just skip to the top 25. Number 50 is going to be Brock Wright, backup tight end for the Lions. I think he's a solid backup tight end here. Number 49 is going to be Jordan Akins for the Cleveland Browns. Now, actually, I think he's going to be really solid. Number 48, Jatavion Sanders. He's a rookie out of Texas, I believe. I think he's going to have a decent rookie season. I mean, he's a receiver, like a receiver basically for the Carolina Panthers. So probably not going to have a great season, but I think he's solid enough to be on the top 50. 47 is Foster Moreau for the Saints. He's technically tight end 3 if you want to count Taysom Hill, but he's practically tight end 2 there. 46 is Brevin Jordan for the Texans. He's a very solid tight end 2 behind Dalton Schultz. 45 is going to be Mercedes Lewis. He is like 40 years old. He doesn't really catch a whole lot of passes. He does a little bit, but he's mainly there for blocking and stuff, which, I can't really rank blocking very well because there's not really a stat on it unless I actually sit here and went to the PFF grading for blocking and stuff. I'm not going to find that, but I do think Mercedes Lewis should be on this list somewhere. This is where he falls. 44 is Cade Stover, rookie tight end here for the Texans as well. So him and Brevin Jordan are kind of the tight end 2/3. I think both of them are going to be actually kind of solid here for the Texans. Number 43, Darnell Washington. He's tight end 3 probably here for the Steelers behind Pat Freiermuth, and I think there's somebody else, but we'll get to him later. Number 42 is Adam Trotman for the Broncos. So he's a solid tight end. They got Greg Dulcich too. I think Dulcich is a little bit better than Trotman, but Trotman's certainly a pretty solid tight end as well. 41 is going to be Tommy Tremble for the Carolina Panthers. I believe he's their tight end 1. Not a very good tight end 1, but is a solid enough tight end. Number 40 is Durham Smythe here for the Miami Dolphins. He's okay. He's not their tight end 1 either, so he's definitely a solid tight end 2. 39 is Tyler Conklin for the Jets. I don't remember if he was their tight end 1 or not, but either way, he's a solid tight end, but definitely not a good tight end 1. Number 38 is Connor Hayward. So yeah, he's probably wide receiver 2 here for the Steelers. Him and Darnell Washington are kind of both in the same realm. I think Connor Hayward's going to be a little bit better than Washington, though. 37, Drew Sample, backup tight end here for the Bengals. He's a real solid backup tight end. 36 is Kylan Granson for the Colts. I saw this guy on TikTok. He's actually pretty cool. He said he was wearing whatever the skull caps, whatever, I forget what they're called, the extra padded around the helmet. He's going to be wearing that all NFL season because he thinks that's pretty important. That's how I saw him on TikTok. So I think he's pretty cool, but I definitely don't think he's a good tight end 1, but he's a solid tight end still. 35 is going to be Gerald Everett as a tight end here for the Chicago Bears. He's going to be a real good tight end 2 for them, I think, behind Cole Kmet. He's getting up there in age, but I think he's still really, really solid tight end here. 34, Ben Sinnott. He's tight end 2 for the Washington Commanders. He's a rookie out of K-State. He was amazing in college. I think he's going to have a solid year here. He's a tight end 2 still, but I think he'll be a really good tight end 2 as a rookie. 33, Michael Mayer. He's tight end 2 for the Raiders because they did get Brock Bowers, but he had a really good season last year, so I think he's going to have a pretty solid year, even as a tight end 2 this year. 32 is going to be Luke Musgrave. I believe he's receiver 1 here for Green Bay. I can't remember completely, but he's a decent tight end, not a very good tight end 1 though. 31 is going to be Noah Gray. He's a really good tight end 2 here for Kansas City. Kansas City utilizes multiple tight ends So I think Noah Gray got a good amount of usage in last year, so I expect him to do that again. Um, and there's no reason he can't be one of the best tight end twos here in the league. Number 30, Mo Alie-Cox. I think he's going to be wide receiver or tight end one here for the Colts. He's a pretty good tight end, definitely getting up there in age, so not a very good tight end one anymore, but he's still a really solid tight end. 29 is Zach Ertz as tight end one for the Commanders. He is definitely getting up there in age. Didn't do a whole lot last year. Was injured for a lot of the season, but I think he's going to be a solid tight end here for Washington. Number 28, Greg Dulcich. Like I said, I think he's going to be tight end one here in Denver. He's a pretty good tight end. Not a great tight end one, but he's a very, very solid tight end still. 27, Austin Hooper for the Patriots. He's a decent tight end. He's not a great tight end one either, but with the Patriots, they do need somebody to throw the ball to, so he might actually have a pretty solid season because their wide receiver room is pretty poor. 26 is Dawson Knox, the tight end two for the Bills. He's an amazing tight end too. He got a lot less looks last year with rookie Dalton Kincaid in the mix. But now second-year Dalton Kincaid still going to get a lot more looks than him. But Dawson Knox still certainly is a very serviceable tight end too, for sure. 25 years is going to be Noah Fant as a tight end one, I believe, here in Seattle. He's a solid tight end. He's getting up there in age a little bit as well, but I still think he's a pretty good tight end for Seattle. Number 24, Juwan Johnson. He's technically tight end one, I would say. For New Orleans, they have Taysom Hill, who will be on this list, but he's technically a tight end, but he's not really a tight end. So Juwan Johnson is basically their tight end one. 23 here is going to be Chig Okonkwo. I don't really know how to say that name, but he's a pretty good tight end here for sure. Titans wide receiver room is really, really good, so he'll probably have a worse season than he did last year, but he's still a really, really solid tight end. 22, Mike Gesicki. I think he's going to have a pretty good year actually here with Cincinnati. They do got a good receiver room still, but he's probably their third best receiver, behind Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Number 21 is going to be Hunter Henry for the Patriots. So him and Austin Hooper are both going to be pretty good tight ends here for the Patriots, I believe, because again, their receiver room is pretty bad. So those two tight ends I feel like are going to get quite a bit of work in. Number 20, Isaiah Likely, tight end two for the Ravens, but Mark Andrews was injured for a lot of last season, and Isaiah Likely stepped up to the scene in a big way. So I do expect him to have a pretty good season here, even if Mark Andrews is healthy. 19, Johnny Smith from Miami. He was tight end two last year in Atlanta. Now he's going to be tight end one in Miami with Tua Tagovailoa throwing the ball. I think he could be a really, really good tight end this season. Number 18, Cade Otton in Tampa Bay. I mean, he's a solid tight end. They got a decent receiving core, obviously, with Godwin and Mike Evans, but he's, probably that third best receiver type guy on their team. So he certainly should have a really solid year this year as well. 17, Cole Kmet for Chicago. I mean, he's definitely going to have a worse season this year than last year, just because they didn't have, as great of a receiving room last year. But he's probably their fourth best guy behind Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze. So you could argue him over Odunze a little bit, but still, he's definitely going to have a big step down from last year. But he's still a really good tight end. 16, Jake Ferguson for the Cowboys. He was a solid tight end. He had a good year last year. He should have a better year this year, honestly. And yeah, that's really, really all I got to say here. I think he's really good tight end. Number 15 is going to be Tyler Higbee. He is going to miss at least the first 4 games, but he's still a really good tight end. Probably the third best receiver option guy here for the Rams, and there's no reason he's not going to have a good year again this year. 14, Brock Bowers with the Raiders. He's going to have an amazing rookie season, I believe. Probably the best rookie tight end in a while. Dalton Kincaid and Sam Laporta were both rookie tight ends last year and both amazing. So Brock Bowers might not be as good as Sam Laporta was last year because Laporta absolutely dominated. But I do think Brock Bowers is going to be a very, very good tight end here in year one. Number 13, Pat Freiermuth for the Steelers. He's a really good tight end here. I think he's going to have a better year this year than previous years because their receiving room is a little bit more shot. So he's now the second best receiver option guy on that team probably, and he is a better quarterback. I think Russell Wilson / Justin Fields are both better than Kenny Pickett was last year. Not by much, but at least by a little bit. That I think Pat Freiermuth is going to have a better year than previous years. Number 12, Taysom Hill. Again, he's not really a tight end because he gets working at running back, quarterback, sometimes just straight up slot receiver and stuff. So, he has to go on the tight end list because he's on the depth chart as a tight end. But, still he's a utility guy, but he's an amazing player, definitely. Number 11 here is going to be Dallas Goedert for the Eagles. I mean, again, he's been great for the Eagles for as long as he's been there. I mean, their offense is pretty dynamic, and he's a very, very big part of that. Number 10 here is going to be Dalton Schultz. He's been really good last year with the Texans. He's going to be amazing this year. Maybe a little bit worse because they got a way better receiving core with getting Stephon Diggs in there, but he still should be a very, very good tight end. Number 9 is going to be Dalton Kincaid. He had a great year last year as a rookie. Now coming in as a second-year player, I do not expect him to have, a fall off at all. I think he's going to have a better year this year. The receiving core's worse, so he should get more looks, and I think he's going to have a great season. Number 8, Trey McBride. He was a rookie last year too, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of rookie tight ends last year in my brain, but I might very well be wrong on some of these guys. But either way, Trey McBride was an amazing tight end last year, coming in this year with no Zach Ertz to have to share anything with, who he did part of the season last year, with having Kyler Murray all season long. He honestly could have a better year than he did last year. Number 7, David Njoku for Cleveland Browns. They did have a better receiving group than they did last year, so he might take a very small dip because they do have Jerry Jeudy and stuff, but I think he's still a very, very good tight end and could easily get close to 1,000 yards this season. That wouldn't completely surprise me, but I'll probably say a little bit less, like 800 or so, but he's still a very, very good tight end. Number 6, Evan Ingram for Jacksonville. He should get 1,000 yards. I mean, their receiving core is a little bit worse than it was last year, and I think he hit 1,000 yards last year, or very well close to it. So, getting 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns here for Evan Ingram, honestly, very, very doable in my opinion. Number 5 is going to be Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts has had subpar years every single season he's been in the league, but he's also had Taylor Heineke / Desmond Ridder throwing him the ball, so getting Kirk Cousins in here should definitely elevate Kyle Pitts' game, and for some reason that does not help Kyle Pitts this season, getting a guy like Kirk Cousins in there, then basically he's just never going to be a great tight end. He's always been like a solid good tight end still, but he's never been an elite tight end, and if he can't be an elite tight end here with Kirk Cousins this year, then it's 100% dead. But I'm projecting him to be an elite tight end with Kirk this year. Number 4, Mark Andrews with the Ravens. I mean, he's been an elite tight end for a while. There's no reason he shouldn't be. As long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be one of the best tight ends in football. Number 3, I'm actually going to put Travis Kelce. You can kind of already guess now who number 1 and 2 are, but any Chiefs fans that are upset with Travis Kelce not being number 1, I don't even know if he was the best tight end in the league last year. Obviously, if they go on and win the Super Bowl and he plays really good in the playoffs like he did, last year, that's going to very much help him be ranked higher than number 3 on this list by the end of the season. But based on the upcoming regular season, if I had to predict the regular season right now, he is not going to be better than 2 guys ahead of him. I mean, he wasn't that great last year. I think last year was probably his worst year in the last 10 years or so, since maybe one of his first couple seasons. And he's getting older, and they have a better receiving room this year than last year. So he should take a little bit of a dip as well. Number 2 is going to be George Kittle. I think he's an elite tight end. For the last few years, you've been able to argue George Kittle is already better than Travis Kelce. This season, I definitely think he's going to be better than Travis Kelce. I still think it would obviously be close, but I'm going to take Kittle over Kelce. He's, an absolute weapon on the offensive end. There's no reason that he should be slowing down at all from last year to this year. The number 1 is going to be Sam Laporta. So I believe he was a rookie last year. I personally think he was probably a top 3 tight end as a rookie last year. So coming into his second year, I think he's going to take even a little bit more leap and be the best tight end in all of football. Who's going to be the best tight end? In my opinion, personally, probably just based off of one season, he's probably going to be the best tight end. As long as his progression goes up a little bit, he should be the best tight end for the next 10 or so years. Probably a couple of years we'll have conversations between Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers or something for like the best tight end in the league. But Sam Laporta right now has all the tools and all the potential to be one of the best tight ends in NFL history as long as he stays healthy and continues to progress a little bit from where he was in just his rookie season. That is going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. And like I said earlier, if you have not seen my quarterback, running back, and receiver videos, please go back and watch them. But thank you.